Hello, y'all, and welcome back. And my God, we're back in the studio. The last time we were here, it was like
February.
March.
Oh,
But it is now May. It is the second week of May, I believe. Don't quote me. It's the day before Mother's Day, so it's the 11th. Shout out to our moms. We love you.
hmm
And yeah, this is Being Effing for Real, a podcast where we discuss all things pop culture, cinema, and things going on in the world. Today,
hmm
we have a very important conversation to have. And yeah, my friend here, my co host, Justin, is gonna take over this episode because he has a lot to say. Go ahead,
hmm
friend.
Hello, everybody. Today's episode is certainly quite more needed than ever, to say the least. I'm sure we've all heard of everything going on in countries such as Palestine, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Sudan, Haiti, and etc. All of these humanitarian crises, because I don't want to say the G word and possibly get this
Us
episode
banned.
flagged in some. Yeah, I don't want to. I know that that certain words are sensitive on the internet these days. So after me and TJ get through some of the TV shows that we have been watching lately, because that's usually how we like to introduce our episodes, then we're going to get into how we can connect film and television to these humanitarian crises going around the world. Because quite frankly, I always do like to say that art reflects reality.
We can also get into the celebrities and actors who have these big audiences and support who have either said something about these crises and are doing something about it and using their platform for good, or
hmm
others who are using their platform for bad things and supporting disgusting propaganda, or
hmm
those who have said absolutely nothing, who wish their
Right.
silence also speaks words.
That it does. And we would also like to make a note when me and TJ discuss the celebrities that have used their platform for better good of these humanitarian crises. This is in no way to put them on some high pedestal for the bare minimum, but to simply prove and reinforce the point that these celebrities do hold power and influence, whether if they choose to acknowledge it or not, unlike some people, such as Lizzo more recently, which we will get into that in a few. So let's open up as we usually do with some of our TV shows that we have been watching lately. You go first, friend.
Oh my god. Okay, this is so exciting. So, my favorite TV show is back. Doctor Who. She has arrived. She's here. The premiere. It was a two-episode premiere. It came out yesterday on Friday.
hmm
So that was really exciting for me. I watched the episodes back to back. I had to. It came out at 7, but I had to wait till it was dark because I love watching shows in the dark. So I had to, set the vibe, set the moods. So I watched those in the dark. It was really great. I liked the second episode more than the first episode. The first episode was called Space Babies, and the second
hmm
episode was called The Devil's Court. The Devil's Court was much better for me. I rated Space Babies a 3 out of 5, and I gave The Devil's Court a 4 out of 5. Well, I think I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. Yeah, but Space Babies, I don't know. It was just because it's a new show, so they're starting off at season 1. So this is a reboot for a newer audience. So basically, in like the first 5 minutes, they explain the plot of the Doctor and like a little bit of the lore. But it was I didn't like that because I'm a longtime fan. I don't need you to explain anything to me. So that was really irritating for me. But I mean, I understand why they did it. It just like it turned me off. So that got a 3. And then the Devil's Court was honestly really good, really fun. It was based in the 60s. The outfits were everything. The plot was great. And the Beatles were there. So they were there for like 10 minutes. So it was neither here nor there. But yeah, I really like that. And then also Pretty Little Liars Summer School that premiered Thursday. I have seen episode 1 of the new season. I have yet to see season 2. I've yet to see episode 2. I was gonna watch it last night, but it was like 12 a.m. and my friends wanted to get on a space, so I had to fix my priorities. So I made sure to finish episode one at least. Episode one, I think I gave it a
Mm-hmm.
3 out of 5, but that's also partially because while I was watching the episode, I was making a cake, so I missed a few
Ooh.
things, but I was hungry, so I needed a snack to go with my show. Um, and also, as far as things that I'm watching lately, I still am in my anti TV era. Like throughout the day, I'm not watching TV shows, but I did start Teen Wolf a few weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm on season two. I'm almost done with season two, and I have like 2 episodes left of season two, and I I've been on those 2 episodes for about 3 weeks, because my anti TV era is serious. But I do want to get to season three because everyone says that season 3B is the best season, I think, or maybe it's A. I don't know. People say season three is the best season of the show, so I want to get there so I can see what the people are discussing, what they're talking about. Also, speaking of Teen Wolf, I have attracted some haters because of a ship
Really?
on the show called Steric,
Oh.
and it's between this character's named Derek and Styles. And in the beginning of the show, Derek is like 20 and Styles is 16, so he's a child. And people ship them, which is a bit weird to me. I don't know. Um, but I mean, yeah, I get it. He grows up throughout the seasons, but it's still a little not kosher.
Yeah.
But I have read a few of the fanfics because those stories are good. Like I'll read a good fic even if I don't ship the ship. Like a story is a story, a book is a book to me. Like especially if it has a whole entirely different plot. Like these are different characters basically. But so far, Styles is my favorite character. I love him. I'm obsessed with him. He is also an ENTP, just like me, so that's great for him. So far, Styles and Lydia are my favorite characters. Scott is stupid. I don't like him because he's dumb. Allison, I don't like her either. I also don't like them together. They're like, I don't know, this whole Romeo and Juliet teenage melodrama BS thing they got going on here is really irritating. Maybe if I watched the show when I was like 14, I would be into it. But seeing as how I'm 20, I don't care. Get them off my screens. Why are you having sex in a car while a monster is out killing people in a van that you were supposed to be
That is
watching?
so
Get your priorities together.
typical.
Like how did a whole monster break out of a van that you were supposed to be watching because y'all were screwing in the back seat? Get it together. It's so irritating to me. I hate them. And as far as the haters, I shouted out the ship on Twitter. It was a subliminal tweet. I didn't even mention the ship by name, but I was reading a fanfic like a couple weeks ago, and somebody linked a Twitter with a drawing on it. So I went to go to the Twitter to look at the drawing, and they had me blocked.
Oh no.
So I don't, I'm assuming that they didn't like my subliminal tweet. I don't know. But unblock me. I want to see your stuff. I only found out they had me blocked because I have a couple different accounts for certain
Hmm.
things. Um, and I went to go look. Also, just to be a little messy, the
Hmm.
art, it's not that good, babe. So don't clock my tea, clocking yours. Um, I think that's it, friend. I've talked a lot, but you go ahead. I'll give you the spotlight and I'll be right
Okay.
back.
Okay. So for me, everybody, I have recently been watching. Well, technically, I watched it the entire season. I saw them for the first time. So it's actually a funny story of how I had ended up like watching that show. So I wasn't interested in watching the original season of them that was set in the 1950s when it came out back in lockdown in 2021. I just wasn't in a mentally right place with everything that was going on with Black Lives Matter at the time, and in a horror show about a black family in the 1950s moving to a really white neighborhood. I just knew what was gonna come next. So fast forward to 2024, I see that they're making another season of them. It's called The Scare. But this time it's set in the 90s, and it looks like it was going to be a completely new storyline. That they had reused the same actress who played the mom in the original as the new protagonist in them, The Scare. That she plays a homicide detective in Los Angeles in 1991, and that she's tracking down a bunch of paranormal murders in the projects and whatnot. And I honestly liked it a lot. I was not expecting to enjoy it that much, you know? I would definitely say that Them the Scare is a lot less racially traumatizing compared to the original one set in the 1950s. However, I don't want to spoil the ending for Them the Scare for those who have not seen it, but I do want to give a PSA to those who aren't aware, as I wasn't. So, as I was watching Them the Scare, that it was the very last episode, there's actually two major twists at the ending that directly connect back to the original Them from the 1950s. So so then it was at that moment, I was like, oh, I guess I did have to watch the original one in the 1950s beforehand. So after I watched Them the Scare, I had to go backwards, and like it's like it almost felt like I was watching a prequel in a sense, like to figure out, like, to piece the puzzles together to make better sense of the ending of the Scare. But yeah, both good seasons overall. However, like I said, the first one is a lot more racially traumatizing, especially episode 5 of the original one. There's a very graphic SA scene and harm to an infant. So viewer discretion advised if you plan on watching them from the original to the new one. What are some other shows that I've seen lately? I'm also just watching Abbott Elementary every week. So far, so good. I'm never really bored watching Abbott Elementary, honestly. I do hope that Quinta Brunson can keep it running for a few more seasons. And shout out to my mutual bunny who had put me onto a really good bootleg website, because I do not use Disney Plus anymore in support of the boycotts for Palestine and the Congo. That I've been watching X-Men 97, which is the continuation series of X-Men, the animated series from the 90s, which literally picks up off where that ended. It's been airing on Disney Plus. Like I said, I don't use Disney Plus anymore, so I had to watch it on a bootleg. So I was finally able to binge it. And I'm also binging Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, the second season, which was also on Disney Plus on my new little special website. Like I said, shout out to Bunny. And hmm, I haven't got too far into Moon Girl season 2 yet, so I don't really have too many thoughts on that. As for X Men 97, it's honestly some of the best comic book like animation I've seen in recent years. Like, I'm really blown away, like, of how much honor it does to the original X Men cartoon from the 90s. Like, they kept the original theme song. Of course, it was slightly updated. Now, for the character designs, there's a slight tweak in animations. I would say it looks more up to par with today. I think if they kept the same animations from the 90s, it just would have looked really cheesy and outdated. I'm appreciated that they updated the graphics and um just amazing character development, honestly. Like, I didn't really care for characters like Gambit earlier on, but without spoilers, that, like, he has a lot of great character development in X-Men 97. Storm has always been one of my favorites, and I love how they really put a lot of respect on her name in this one, acknowledging that she is an Omega level mutant and whatnot. And, as much as I love Wolverine, it's really refreshing to not have him always in the spotlight of X-Men after all these live action movies. In X-Men 97, Wolverine, he definitely has his moments, but I think the show definitely lets a lot of the other mutants to shine as well. So I thought that was a really good thing. And that's quite about it for now. I don't want to spoil too much for X-Men 97 for those who have not seen it. I definitely want to do a more full-on review once the season finishes next week, actually, and next Wednesday. And that's quite it for my TV shows that I've seen recently.
Love that for you, friend.
Thank you, friend.
Uh, okay, friend. Are you ready to get into the serious topics?
Yes, friend. You don't have to ask me twice. So, to lead us off, I had wanted to pull up a very controversial video from Lizzo recently on her TikTok of where she had stitched a video of what is an unpopular opinion that she will stand by. And to say the least, she had said with her full, not so bright chest that celebrities do not hold as much power as people think that they do. Now, what do you think about that, friend? Because I could already see your face.
Honestly, I'm confused because in which way did she mean that? Did she mean societally or like in their industry?
Oh, she completely just meant societally.
Mm, that's not
Yeah.
true.
Oh, I wasn't sure if you were finished, friend. I was just gonna let you have
Oh
the mic
no,
for a second.
I was. I'm done for now, I think.
Oh,
I don't know, but
okay.
that's just a weird
So,
statement.
but to give our audience better context, I do have the video, which we're just going to skimmer through quickly because it is almost 4 minutes, and I don't want to waste too much of our time.
4 minutes.
Yeah, she had a lot of nothing to say, but here it is, folks. Will you defend like this? Celebrities do not have as much power as you guys think they do. Follow me because I wasn't a celebrity and now I am, and I can see it for what it is. I saw a video where someone was like, can someone tell celebs that we don't need another beauty brand or whatever? We need y'all to build libraries like celebs did back in the day, like Rockefeller. A sentiment to which I wholeheartedly agree. However, Rockefeller was not merely a celeb of his day. Rockefeller was a tycoon. Rockefeller owned more wealth in America than anybody. Rockefeller was more a
I mean,
politician and
she's
involved in
right.
government, in controlling wait for it, the friend. Country than a celeb of his day. Celebs of the day were more like Ella Fitzgerald, popular jazz singer, who. Okay, let me forward through this a little bit to get to the not so
The
bright
meat and
take that she made.
potatoes.
That was funny. Okay, here it is. That helped the LGBTQIA plus community, and nobody even knew. That's because celebrities are here for y'all's entertainment. When we do things that are good for the planet, nobody notices it. And to be honest, that's not why I do the charitable things that I do. I do it to actually help people. So that's neither here nor there. But I just see celebrities getting blamed for every single problem in the world when they don't have control or the power to change or stop that. It kind of reminds me how we get angry at the president when really we need to be mad at Congress and we need to be mad at our local governments and we need to get upset with the Supreme Court. And the president is kind of like the person who stands in front and takes all the blame for 4 years and then 4 to 8 years and then they're in and out and then it's another person, but it's the same regime underneath. Just saying, the real people in power and the real people who can actually make a difference in this world know that they can and they choose not to because it benefits them. I'm sure if the Ella Fitzgerald of the day could. Okay, I've had enough. If only y'all can see me and TJ's face right now. We literally have the same face right now.
The president? What are you talking about? Sorry,
Like I
the
said,
president is
four
not
minutes of
just
nothing.
the president is not just a figurehead. They make decisions too. So yes, the
Mm-hmm.
president can be blamed for the things that happen because you're the
Right.
president.
Is
Now
he
I
not the leader
understand.
that we look to?
I saw where she was going with the Rockefeller thing, and I
Right.
get where she was talking about where how when celebrities talk about certain issues, nobody pays attention. Like I've seen that happen. Like a celebrity will go from like doing this one thing and then being more, let's put air quotes here, conscious and like doing all these different things, and then people stop like listening to them or supporting their music or whatever. Like I saw where she was going there, but
Mm-hmm.
celebrities do still have a certain amount of power and influence. Maybe not as much to build a library or a bunch of library chains or whatever, but you definitely have enough influence to go on social media and do your thing. Like, even if not everyone listens, people will, because you have that type of
Mhm.
viewership.
Right. I respectfully disagree on one aspect, though, friend. When it comes to the example of building a library or even a string of libraries, I do believe that celebrities do have the power to make that happen when you consider that people, like, okay, let's use Usain Bolt, that he's using his, I believe that it's called net worth, to give back to his community in Jamaica and build better schooling systems.
Hmm.
Even other professional athletes like, so, and I'm just using random examples, don't quote me, folks, that Serena Williams or LeBron James, that they've also, like, given to charitable causes, like for education in Africa with lower poverty, with, excuse me, with higher poverty rates.
Hmm.
And yeah, and it's like Lizzo, she's literally contradicting herself, like within her own video, of how she says that celebrities will choose not to do anything because it benefits them. And that, but it's, which, yes, that's true. But I also think that it's interesting because the other day, after making this video, after all this backlash, that she's all of a sudden making a bunch of these GoFundMe videos for people in dire need in Palestine, in the Congo, and Sudan. But it's like, Lizzo, you have money than any single one of your followers. You could have filled up that entire GoFundMe. I don't see what's the point of promoting the GoFundMe. I think, if anything, what would have been more effective is if she was to bring awareness to the very evil crimes that are being committed against these people, if that makes more sense.
Hmm.
Because especially when you consider that there's a lot of these Palestinian journalists and even these people in the Democratic Republic of Congo that are on the ground, that are documenting what's happening, how people are suffering in these displacement camps, how they're being bombed, how they're being shot at and tortured, or even sexually assaulted, and etc. But a lot of times this is obviously going to be taken down by Instagram and TikTok because of so-called violation of community guidelines. So you take a celebrity like Lizzo, if she was to make a video on it, just briefly talking about it, she would be, in a sense, reposting it, but not reposting. Because, like I said, a lot of this graphic imagery is going to be taken down. But if Lizzo keeps the conversation going with her amount of influence and followers, of course, the word's going to get around faster.
Hmm.
Oh, did you have anything else to say, friend, on that?
Yeah, I 100% agree, friend. Celebrities do definitely hold power societally. Like, that's why you're a
Mm-hmm.
celebrity. Like, yes, you're here to entertain, but with entertainment also comes advertisement. You are a walking advertisement. Anything that, if you have fans, anything that you do or say, your fans are going to want to do or look into those things. That's who you
Right,
are now, as that's your job. So celebrities do definitely hold power in that type of way.
right. And I just
Also,
also find
her.
it to be. Oh, sorry, friend.
Oh yeah, I was just saying, also her now posting these GoFundMe's, which I guess she wasn't doing that before. After this whole
Oh no,
controversy,
not at
is
all, friend.
definitely, yeah, it's definitely her trying to cover her butt and trying to overcompensate in that way.
I would also argue that Lizzo, aside from, compensating over that really horrible take, that you take into consideration that Lizzo's career has really been plummeting down the drain after those hostile environment allegations, just kind of going hand in hand with one another. To your point, I think she's just completely overcompensating to save herself from draining in that drain.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
And and what was I gonna say before? Brain fart, brain fart. Yes, I just find it to be a very airhead statement of how she says that celebrities are just meant to entertain us. Yes, that can be true to a degree. We often look to filmmaking and television and music and video games as an escape from reality to a degree, but it's like, at the same time, as I said at the start of this episode, a lot of the art that we do consume is reflective of reality. You take a lot of these stories of science fiction or fantasy, you can't possibly tell me that it doesn't have some sort of historical connection in some way, shape, or form.
Hmm. Historical connection or even a life lesson that people
Life
take
lessons, that's a
into,
good one.
yeah, that people take into their lives and like change the way that they do things. So even then, celebrities and actors have that type of influences over the populace.
Right, because celebrities are almost the closest things to fictional characters in our reality because that's how much we idolize them, if that makes sense. That they're almost too good to be true to be real.
Hmm.
Um,
Like a lot of us see can't separate the celebrity from the character because there are some
mhm,
celebrities you look at and you only associate them with one character. So yeah, I see where you're going there, friend. I mean, yeah, but at the end of the day, they're still people. They're
mhm.
regular
Oh yeah,
Joes.
I remember what I was gonna say now. You take Lizzo, who's a music artist, she has made her entire platform over, the body positivity of, plus size people, in particular, plus size women and femme presenting people. And it's like, how are you just going to say that she's simply there as a celebrity to just entertain people when clearly her musical platforms have a lot more social impact than that?
Hmm.
So it's like, okay, so I'm sure you heard about how powerful words could be. It's words of affirmation. Just like what we see is what we believe, what we hear is also what we perceive to be true as well. And I believe the rapper Malcolm, which I'm not gonna lie, friend, I have not heard of his existence until the other day, but a rapper named
Malcolm Moore?
yeah,
You never heard the song Thrift Shop, friend?
no, friend, I'm late to the
I'm gonna
party.
pop some tags. Only got $20 in my pocket.
That's
You heard that
Malcolm
song
Moore.
before?
That's Malcolm
Yes,
Moore. Huh.
yes.
Well, yes, I've recently been informed that Macklemore that he had made a song about Palestine and the other humanitarian crises in the world. And that really goes to show how powerful words can be. Because you take a look at a lot of music throughout history, hip hop being the prime example, that was never for just solely entertainment. Now, yes, while some would argue that hip hop was created as a way of Black resistance and Black joy to a lot of the trauma that we were enduring due to the civil rights movement, yes, I can agree to that. That's what hip hop was before lyricism came into it. But when lyricism did come into it, it was completely socially innovative. That they were talking about poverty, they were talking about police brutality, just all the stuff that was happening through the civil rights movement and post the civil rights movement. You go into the 80s, that's when gangster rap was created, and Ice Cube and NWA were talking about the stuff that was happening in their neighborhoods throughout the crack epidemic. It like without that, hip hop wouldn't be what it is today, for better or for worse. So yes, words do have power.
100%. Also, we have an announcement.
Hmm.
RIP director and actor Roger Corman. He just died.
Who?
He made Little Shop of Horrors, House of Usher, and he acted. Let's see.
Oh, House of Usher just recently came out on Netflix. I did not
Yeah,
tune in
the
yet.
old one, not the new one.
Oh, my bad.
But he's
Well,
also acted
rest
in
in peace to
films
him.
like The Godfather, The Silence of the Lambs, Philadelphia, Apollo 13, Candidate, The Manchurian. So yeah, he's known as the king of B movies. And yeah,
Hmm.
he just died. So
Well, rest in peace to
R.I.P.
him.
Yeah, he just died at the age of 98. So he lived a long
That is a
life.
very long
Woo!
life.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Real
but
long life. Anywho, sorry for the interruption.
oh yeah,
Continue,
no
friend.
problem, friend. Um, Look, to say the least, Lizzo just doesn't know what she's talking about. And I just find it even funnier that she's contradicting like her own words. And okay, so shout out to another person. I Yes, I believe her name is Joy. That she is a woman who is over in the Democratic Republic of Congo right now as a nurse, who is aiding the team known as, was it, oh my goodness, I totally forgot what it was called. Yes, Focus Congo is what it's called. And this woman Joy, that she had demonstrated the perfect example of how powerful celebrities can be during times of these humanitarian crises. I'm not exactly sure how many supporters that Focus Congo had earlier on, but Joy had revealed this morning that overnight that Focus Congo had went up by 20,000 followers, and I'm not exactly sure which celebrity it was that helped promote Focus Congo, but I'm really glad he, she, or they did, and that just goes to prove Lizzo's point wrong. That, just one mention or repost from a celebrity can really make the difference.
Hmm.
Because it's like, earlier on, we had these makeup, well, I take that back, we still have makeup lines named after celebrities. A lot of times we want to buy these products that are associated with our favorite celebrities. You take Air Jordans, you take Yeezys with Kanye West. I don't really know too much about makeup, friend. You'll probably be able to educate me a little bit more on that one, like, why women would want to buy makeups or perfumes associated with their favorite music artists and whatnot.
I don't know,
Oh, you
man.
don't
It's
know,
that
friend?
marketing. I don't wear makeup, friend. But it's that
Oh,
marketing
okay.
because not the
I,
oh
I,
wait.
no, I'm, I really didn't know, friend. I didn't mean to put you on the spot like that.
Oh my god. Anyways, no, but I understand how people want to buy certain products associated with different celebrities because I'm sure like it's the same thing for you with like outfits and shoes.
Oh
Like
yeah.
if you see like if a certain celebrity is making a certain shoe, you want to buy it because you like that person or whatever. So it's the same
Oh
thing
yeah.
with makeup and fragrances. Like if I see a certain celebrity that I like their projects and they have a product coming out, I'm like, oh, they probably smell good, so I want to smell good too. Stuff like that. It's
Hmm.
just the marketing purposes of that. And
Right.
that's why they get popular celebrities, like people who are in the now. They get people who are currently popular to promote their products like that because people are currently watching those people to see what they do. So it's
Hmm.
all a part of marketing.
And I think we really said it all in that aspect, honestly. Moving on to the next subtopic of this category, that we wanted to connect film and television to these humanitarian crises. The first one that was to come to mind, because in light of the Met Gala the other day, was the Hunger Games movies.
Hmm.
I think you have a little bit more about that to say than me, friend, right?
I guess, friend. Okay, basically the Met Gala happened I don't know what day. Essentially, the Met Gala is a charity that I believe goes towards the arts of some kind of thing. I don't know. Basically, celebrities is hosted by Anna Wintour, and celebrity. There's a theme of the night, and there's a overall arcing theme. And the celebrity is supposed to dress in that theme, and every year everybody judges their outfits, and they're basically there to contribute to the charity. Like there's a big amount of money you have to pay in order to get in, and you're also invited and also that type of stuff. And yeah, it's a big night event for fashion and also journalism, and like if you're into that type of entertainment type of journalism and stuff. And so basically the night that it was happening, there were a lot of protesters outside protesting for Palestine. And even on Twitter, like people were talking about the Met Gala. People were under the comments saying "All eyes on Rafa" and stuff like that. And it was basically like because of the theme of the night. I think it was like Gardens of Time. A lot of
Hmm.
celebrities were dressed in floral type of things, dead flowers and stuff like that, which is pretty similar to the fashion within the Hunger Games movies. And it would basically like that type of view on society. Like here are these elites dressing in these beautiful flowery dresses that sort of show like the essence of life, and then people are underneath them dying. So yeah.
Wow, that's wow. Oh my goodness. Wow. No, I did not put that two and two together. How poetic, not in a good way. I would also like to add that even though, despite I've never seen the Hunger Games, I do know enough about it to know what it represents of how, to
You've
your,
never seen the Hunger Games?
I've only seen bits and pieces of the very first one from 2012, friend. I think I told you that I was never motivated to watch the Hunger Games movies 'cause I don't like Jennifer Lawrence as an actress.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a story for another
Sorry for
time. I don't want
interrupting
to get
you.
too
I was
sidetracked,
just,
but
yeah, I was just shocked. Continue,
no,
friend.
you're
Call me
good,
back.
friend. That was all good, friend. I was just saying that I know enough about the Hunger Games and knows what it represents, to your point about the elite and the wealthy versus, the so-called lower class. And I just thought it was really disturbing how I saw those clips on TikTok and whatnot of how they were comparing the Met Gala to the elite and the wealthy in the Hunger Games, just living carelessly in their privilege, while you have the lower class, and then also in this case, like the people in Palestine and Congo and Sudan, etc., that are like simultaneously like suffering, like just two completely different worlds from one another. I was just talking about how the Met Gala, of how I saw those clips on TikTok of how people were comparing the celebrities in the Met Gala, just spending the night careless in their privilege, and how it was cutting back to the people in Palestine and Congo simultaneously suffering in two separate worlds and whatnot. It's like, wow. I was actually about to lead us into our next topic pertaining the situation about how film and TV really connects to a lot of these terrible things happening around the world. So we had already discussed the Hunger Games, and the second that I've been wanting to mention was how the Black Panther films so obviously connect to the Democratic Republic of Congo's humanitarian crisis. And I wasn't sure if you wanted to say anything, friend.
This is, you got a lot more to say than me, friend.
Okay, so for starters, I have actually made quite a few TikTok videos about this, and none of them have received the attention that I would have had liked them to, because I just feel that it's a really important conversation to have when you take into consideration that people love the Black Panther movie so much that I don't know if I would get canceled if I said this out loud. I probably would, to be honest, because I just feel a lot of people just aren't ready to have this conversation. It's just truly something to me of how Black Panther, the original one that came out in 2018, it's been 6 years since that film came out, and I just truly feel we've taken for granted of how much that film was trying to tell us at the time. And fast forward 6 years later, it's just gotten worse and worse and worse for the Democratic Republic of Congo. That this is just nothing new that people that are trying to make it out to be.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing, it really irks me to another level when people say that they love Black Panther so much. And I'm asking to myself, why do we love Black Panther so much? It's because of the representation. And don't get me wrong, representation is really important, but at the same time, I'm really disappointed in us that for 6 years straight that we've been so overconsumed by by representation, that we became completely negligent to to the messages that Black Panther was trying to correlate in real life. Not just what's going on in the Democratic Republic of Congo, but you also take into consideration the messages between the ethnic tensions between continental Africans and African Americans, just Black people of different ethnic backgrounds around the world, of how we just don't stick up for one another in times of crises like this. And it's just really sad and concerning because, quite frankly, yes, we do have some of our differences, but do we really suffer that differently across the globe? Like, colonialism was not just in one place.
Yeah.
And, um, so the Democratic Republic of Congo, it's really the real life Wakanda, and there's actually like an entire article about it of how Congo, that it's known as the heart of Africa, located within the western central region of the continent. They have resources that no other country can be like scratched in the world. Cobalt, lithium, you name it, and all the cobalt that's being mined for, and those really graphic videos that I've seen kids get buried under those mines. That's how tirelessly that they work for hours on end, that it's just used to fund a bunch of these technological companies like Tesla, Apple, Samsung, just any big major tech company. The laptop that we're using, the cell phones that we're using, that's because of the resources from the Congo that they exploit. Sorry, friend, I'm just catching my breath for a second.
You're okay, friend.
It's a lot, really.
It is.
And aside the Democratic Republic of Congo, I think it's also really important to note that so if you remember, friend, in the very opening of Black Panther, when they flash forward to the present day, when T'Challa, Nakia, and Okoye, that they're saving a bunch of young girls, these young Nigerian girls who are so obviously being sex trafficked, that I that a lot of people don't know this, but that was actually supposed to be a real world reference. That it was back in 2014, if I remember correctly, that I really hope I'm pronouncing the name of their community right, but I believe that they were known as the Chibok schoolgirls of Nigeria. I don't remember which part of Nigeria, but I know a lot of those young girls were being stolen from their schools and being sex trafficked. And that it actually wasn't until late last month, last April, friend, that those young girls that they finally were able to return to their homes because some of them had escaped at long last.
Hmm. I
This is
actually did
really,
hear about that.
huh?
I actually did hear about that.
Yeah, I think you might have saw me post it on my story. It's just really sad that it took them that long to, find their freedom. Most of them are grown women by now. They're
Mhm.
probably so like let's say they were kidnapped when they were what, like 16, 17 years old. They've got to be like in their late 20s by now. And it's like, despite that they're in their late 20s, it's like spiritually they're in their 40s because they were just made into these sex slaves and forced to bear all these children and whatnot. This is really sad.
Mhm.
And a lot
That's
of people
terrible.
and a lot of people totally forgot that Black Panther had actually made awareness to that back in 2018. Oh yes, I also wanted to go back to how I think it's really interesting how Black Panther in 2018, of how it predicted these tensions between different ethnic groups of Black people around the world, of how we're just so xenophobically biased to one another, which also leads to us not assisting one another when times come like this in the world. So I can't help but to observe. I just think it's really interesting that a lot of people with these platforms on social media that advocate for Black social issues, whether if that's, protecting Black women or just whatever civil rights along those lines, why do we only ever go so hard for that energy whenever that injustice occurs in the United States? That you take, I'm sure you remember when we talked about Robache, that woman from Houston, Texas, who was struck in the face in the brick back in the summer of 2023 when she rejected a man's advances. That had started an entire movement of conversations of why we should be doing a better job to protect Black women. And yes, I couldn't agree more with that, but it's like at the same time, how are we going to, it's like we continue these conversations for months and months, like almost a year now, for this one woman who was struck in the face with a brick, as we should. But why are we not applying that to the same energy for countless women in the Democratic Republic of Congo and Sudan who are being violently sexually assaulted in groups of 50 every hour, believe it or not, if they refuse to work in these mines to exploit the resources.
The
Not to mention,
reason why they do that, because I've heard of multiple cases of different things happening to women who reject a man's advances. Like just like 2 weeks ago, a woman
hmm
got milk poured on her, because she rejected the man's advances. She was outside, fully dressed, on her way to somewhere, got milk poured on her by a random man. And then, like 2, 3 weeks before that, two teenage, not, I don't know if they're teenagers, but two young black twins were stabbed.
I heard about that. One of them didn't make it.
Yeah, because they rejected the man's advances. And the reason why we keep this conversation within the United States is because they don't hear about things that go on outside of the US because that's outside of their bubble.
Mm-hmm.
It's not in their immediate news feed, so they don't see that it's happening.
I agree, but also respectfully disagree at the same time. I think it definitely is likely that people aren't talking about, these shared sufferings is because that it's not likely to show up on their feed. But I just also find it a bit questionable that they haven't stumbled across it even once. As I said, that there's a bunch of fundraisers for the Democratic Republic of Congo right now that have been going slightly more viral. I wouldn't go as far to say that we've been having as much global protest for the Congo as we have for Palestine just yet, which is quite unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my goodness. But yes, I just find it really desensitive and hypocritical, honestly, to not apply that same energy, especially for the people who are aware of it, because there really isn't a shortage of people around the world who have been speaking on these issues. There are so many social activists from the Democratic Republic of Congo that have been speaking on these issues before you and me have been born. Like I said, this is just not something that has sprung out of thick air. So I just find it hard to believe that there hasn't at least been at least a decent amount of black people in the United States that have heard about this happening but have chose to ignore it.
Mm-hmm.
And aside from all these really, violent sexual assaults that have been happening to the women and the young girls in the Congo, that let's say if they stop working, that's their punishment. And then also not to mention that a lot of them have been displaced from their homes because of, I'm not exactly sure what the name of the group is, but I know that it's also like has to do with another group that's oppressing them. I really don't remember their name at the moment. It's just really a lot to break down, friend. That it's the
Mm-hmm.
United States, it's Israel, it's France, it's Belgium, that they're all trying to exploit the Democratic Republic of Congo's resources, and that they're using a lot of fear tactics to force them into work, which had also led them to being forced out of their own communities into these displacement camps, that they're literally living in these small tents that you would buy at the dollar store for camping. It's just horrible. And that's also what's leading for a lot of these women and young girls to get harmed because, the oppressive soldiers would, sneak into their tents at night. And you do, you know what?
Mm-hmm. That's really disgusting.
Yeah, it's just horrible. I think the worst story that I've heard so far was about a Congolese woman that, if I remember correctly, that she was forced to eat. I can't even put this lightly, friend. That she was forced to eat the testicles of her husband.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then what else happened in the Congo? Mm, we're having a brain fart right now. Oh yes, but going back to Black, aside from Black Panther, I just think that it's really interesting how people love all these African artists like Wizkid and Burna Boy and Thames. They love African food. We love movies like Black Panther, or The Woman King was also quite popular for some people, and it's like why it's people love the idea of Africa in fantasy, but don't actually care for the people that it's actually based off of. And I just find that really dehumanizing.
Mm-hmm.
And it just reminds me of how, Black people in the United States will say that how much that they're disturbed, for lack of a better word that I can't think of at the moment, of when white or non-black people, that that they'll love hip hop, or they'll love the aesthetics, like the sneakers and whatever other like streetwear fashion culture. But it's like they obviously don't care for the people, especially when an injustice happens, like with police brutality, and it's quite frankly giving the same energy.
Hmm. I see that. I can see that.
Like, you can't love African culture but not the people. It just doesn't make sense to me. um The last thing that I really just wanted to conclude on that thought was, please don't get on the internet and say how much you hate slavery, but you're literally neglecting the modern slavery that these people are being put through, just so we can have these cell phones, so we can have this laptop, so we can have this headset, so we can have that TV. And don't say protect black women, but you only care when it happens in the United States. And do I even need to repeat everything that's happening to the woman in the Democratic Republic of Congo and Sudan and etc.?
Period. Mic drop, friend.
Yeah, I've really, to be honest, friend, I have more to say, but I don't want to like sound like I'm rambling. I think we could save that for another time. Honestly, I think there's really no limit of episodes that we can make about this topic as these horrible events just unfortunately continue on. I think it's important that we keep these conversations up.
Yeah, and definitely in the description box down below, we can both put some links and places where
Of
people can,
course. Yeah, some of the
donate and all that
people
stuff.
that I had mentioned, like Joy from Focus Congo. There's also another man who runs the organization named is it Papi Orion or is it Pappy Orion? One of the two. But him and Joy, that they're both the leaders. Well, for lack of a better word, that they're the two people that promote and give a lot of updates on the what's it called again, friend? Focus Congo. Yes, Focus Congo organization.
Yes. Okay, friend. Do we have another topic?
We talked about the Met Gala. We talked about Black Panther. We talked about African culture. We talked about Lizzo. Oh yes, the last thing that we have not gotten around to yet. I don't know why he didn't do this in the start. I feel like we kind of are a little all over the place, but it's usually how we roll, anyways. But we did not get around to talking about yet the particular celebrities that have used their platforms to amplify these humanitarian crises, the ones that haven't, and the ones that are just completely Zionistic and problematic. Which ones do you want to get into first out of A, B, and C?
Okay, so earlier today on Twitter, I saw a thread of celebrities that are Zionistic, and sadly, they deleted that thread, and I hate to delete that thread because in within the thread, there are a lot of community notes because they have community notes on Twitter now. So there are a lot of community notes, like clarifying certain things, which was really helpful. But and I saved it so that I could use it for here,
Mm-hmm.
and they deleted it. So
That really sucks.
I hate that.
I remember some of them off the top of my head, if it helps at all, friend.
Yeah, for
That
sure,
some of the
friend.
most notable ones are Noah Schnapp from Stranger Things, Gal
Of
Gadot, also known
course,
as
he's disgusting.
she's I think she's got to be like the worst of them all, considering she actually did serve in the Israeli IDF.
Hmm.
So she, at one point before she was an actress, was one of the Israeli soldiers that are committing those awful things to Palestine right now.
Yeah.
Who
Also,
else?
also that guy from Wizards of Waverly Place. Let me look up his
Really?
name
Oh
because
no.
I can't remember. No, not a main character. The boyfriend.
Oh,
Not,
background character.
not, not a main
Well,
character.
while you search for that, friend, some other ones that came to mind were Ziggy Marley, which
Greg
just
Sulkin.
make
Sorry.
oh, Greg Sulkin.
Yeah, he actually went to Israel, like in the middle of all the goings on, and like took pictures and like posted support for the Israel. Like he's known for having bad political views in general.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's not shocking to me. Also, Aiden Gallagher from
Oh
Umbrella Academy.
no.
Yeah, he posted. He's one of the celebrities who posted that whole "I stand with Israel" little posting that was going around.
Yeah, I remember that.
So yeah.
Another one that's notable, and I mean, I guess it's not that surprising. Okay, Ziggy Marley, one of the sons of Bob Marley. I was surprised to find that out, considering, his family history. Bob and Rita Marley, literally, all they stood for, like, they were complete socialists. All of the, like, I hate it when people associate Bob Marley's legacy to just be like hippie smoking music. That's not what he represented at all. Like, he sung about peace and socialism, that especially after he had visited the United States, that he was able to put together a lot of connections, like, of how, despite that Jamaicans and African Americans had some differences from one another, there's also quite a lot of similarities that tied them back to one another, and that they were fighting for a similar cause. And also, not to mention that Bob Marley's religious and spiritual beliefs, the Rastafarian beliefs, that Ziggy Marley was trying to make these nonsensical arguments of how, that they worship, like, that he grew up worshiping the Israeli beliefs, which that makes no sense, because we know that Bob Marley and his family were Rastafarian, that their beliefs are rooted in Ethiopia. Like, they totally, like, believe in, like, a black god. They don't know anything about Israel. So it's like, sir, please stop talking out of your, what. The only reason that Ziggy Marley is Zionistic is because his wife is Israeli and she's Zionistic. So case
Okay.
closed.
So I have found a list. It's a list of 200. So
Oh
we're
boy,
not
let's
reading
hear
all of
this.
that.
Well, obviously not
Um,
200, but who are some of the most notable ones?
but number one is Rihanna.
Rihanna? Oh, oh,
I don't know why. I don't know. I hate that they deleted the list because the thread that I found actually had the reasons to block people. But this is just a list of names. So
oh, it's just kind of at
let's
random.
yeah, let's do with this what we will. I'm Drake, Haley Bieber, Justin Bieber, Kim Kardashian, Taylor Swift. I guess Taylor Swift because she hasn't said anything. I don't I don't know. And apparently, people were saying that she allowed her film to be showed in Israel, but also the community notes are saying that she stopped the production of the stuff in Israel. I don't know. It's just a list. We're working with what we got. Okay, Selena Gomez. I don't know. Gal Gadot, obviously ill. Lana Del Rey has apparently been pro-Israel, so that's the thing. Lizzo, duh. Tom Brady, Beyonce, I guess, because she hasn't said anything.
Not to
Kylie
mention
Jenner.
that she didn't withdraw from her Israeli performance for the Renaissance.
Hmm. Jennifer Lopez, which I'm sure you love that friend.
If only y'all could see my
Zendaya,
face.
Zendaya, which I guess once again she hasn't said anything about it. Ariana Grande, but apparently people are saying that she did say something about it. So Trevor Noah, I
I
don't know what
could
he
have
did.
sworn he said something about Palestine, but I could be wrong.
I could have. This is just I don't know who made this list. I hate. I wish we had that thread because it was so helpful.
No, yeah, I know
Um,
what you mean. It's like, I know what you mean, friend. Continue.
because they actually listed reasons. This is
Yeah,
just Jay Z. I guess he didn't say anything. Kanye, he's
I mean, he is
weird in general.
also. Well, I mean, Jay Z is married to Beyonce, so it's tomato tomato.
Halle Bailey, I don't. What did she do? I don't know what she did. Did she do something?
Maybe she might have
Um,
not did anything. I don't know, honestly.
Possibly she hasn't said anything about it. Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
I think he actually is a Zionist.
Okay, Oprah.
I wouldn't be
Uh,
surprised if she is, but I don't keep up with Oprah at all.
Sam Smith, Justin Timberlake. I don't know what he did. Naomi Campbell. She's weird in general. Amy Schumer. She's a Zionist
She
and she's
is.
weird.
Oh my goodness.
She's a Zionist and she's a weirdo. So pick a struggle. Tiffany Haddish. She's once again a Zionist and a weirdo. Sophia Richie. Don't know what she did. Zinchenko. I don't know who that
I
is.
don't know who that is.
Kris Jenner, which okay. Zoe Deutsch. Nina Dobrev. Don't know what she did. Don't know what. But Zoe Deutsch is a Zionist. I don't know what Nina Dobrev did. Jennifer Love Hewitt. She's a Zionist. Valeria Lipsovetsky. I don't know who that is. Sarah Michelle Gellar. I believe she's one of the celebrities who reposted that Stand with Israel post at the very
Mm-hmm.
beginning of the whole thing. Um, Jamie Lee Curtis, not surprising. Summer Rae, I'm not. There are like four different Summer Rae, so I don't know which one it is. Ashley Tisdale, what did she do?
I have no idea.
I don't know what she did. Mandy Moore, I also don't know what she did. Haza Ghost, I don't know who that is. Lexi Hensler, know who that is. Okay, let's go past these names. I don't know. Josh Groban, don't know what he did. Um,
I'm not sure what this guy's name is from, but someone else that came to mind is another actor from Stranger Things, the guy that plays the character Murray that he was defending
mm,
Noah Schnapp.
yeah. Paris Jackson, I don't know what she did. Um, Sarah Paulson. What did she do?
Oh
Sha-
no.
Shakir O'Neal. Is that one of Shaq's children? Does Shaq have children?
Oh yeah, he has daughters, I think. Like one
Oh,
son.
I don't know who that. I don't know who that is. Um, Sarah Hyland. I don't know what she did. Tara Strong. She's a Zionist.
Tara Strong?
Yeah,
Harley
she's a
Quinn?
Zionist.
Man.
She's a Zionist. Danielle Panabaker. Don't know what she did.
She was always problematic. I heard that. Don't quote me, friend, but I heard that the Neil Baker gave a lot of the black and POC actors and actresses on The Flash a bit of a hard time behind the scenes.
What?
Yeah,
Oh my god! I didn't know that. Oh no! I just watched Sky High the other day.
that's crazy.
Um, Peyton List. I don't know what she did.
Who is that
Then
again?
from Jesse,
Oh, the blondie, I remember.
Daniela Monet. What did she do? Lana Condor. Once again. What did she do? Josh Peck. He's weird.
Josh Peck.
Um, yeah.
Wait, Josh Peck? Oh
Yeah.
no.
Josh Peck. He's weird in general.
I
Also,
didn't know
who
he was
is
weird
it?
in general. Oh no.
James from Big Time Rush. He's a
Come on,
real
bro.
big giant. He's a real big Zionist. He be on Twitter posting all the propaganda.
Oh
It's
no.
crazy. He's a real big Zionist, real big. Honestly, everybody in that band
Why?
is problematic, except for allegedly Kendall. Because oh my god, I was on Twitter the other day. It came out that James is a Zionist. Um, Carlos supports Trump. We've been to that though.
I remember that.
Also, allegedly, I was like, oh, everybody's like, oh, okay, I guess Logan and Kendall are the only unproblematic ones. No, apparently Logan was caught talking to minors, and it was a whole thread. But somebody deleted the thread and like wiped it off the internet, so nobody knows where it is anymore. And nothing has come out about Kendall, but honestly, based on his bandmates, I wouldn't put anything past him.
Right.
So yeah, and to think I was gonna go to their concert to think. Um, Addison Ray. Okay. Cord Overstreet. Oh my god, Cord Overstreet. Rita Ora, Judd Apatow. He's weird. Um, Patrick Schwarzenegger.
Schwarzenegger's son?
Is that his son?
Yeah.
Kate Walsh. Also, Georgia Tennant. She's a Zionist. She's weird.
Oh, I hate to
Um,
admit this one, Mark Hamill.
oh yeah.
And it's like,
I
that
saw
makes no
that.
sense to me because he plays the leader of a resistance.
Tish Cyrus, I think that's the mom. Emma Kinney, is she from Shameless?
Who?
Let's look that up
Oh, Adam
before I say
Sandler's another
first.
one.
What? Okay, yes, Emma Kinney from Shameless. I have to make sure. Ian Somerhalder from TVD. He's Damon. Lily Rabe. What you do? Zoe Deschanel. Okay. Um, Paula Abdul. That's so random.
It's
Leslie Grossman.
Madonna.
That's not surprising. Zoe Zaldana.
I'm not surprised.
Olivia Munn. Martin Garrix, the DJ. Why are you talking? Heater is. I think they meant Heather
Oh,
Morris.
Floyd Mayweather. Like, okay, how best to put it? He's not necessarily posting a bunch of this propaganda, but he's just like just a stupid headless chicken follower that like he was doing like a promotional tour in Israel and was taking a bunch of pictures with the IDF. So he's just an idiot, just putting on a show as
Mm.
always.
Miguel. I don't know what he did.
Oh wait,
Lily
was that he
Collins.
also sent a bunch of aid and soldiers on his own private jet?
Who?
Oh, Floyd Mayweather.
Oh, Jamie Lynn Spears. She's weird. Lindsay Lohan. Don't know what she did. Jennifer Aniston. Ruby Rose. Not that Ruby Rose. The actress. Natalie Portman.
From Star Wars and Thor?
Yeah. Vanessa Hudgens. Haley Kiyoko. Who
Uh,
is that? The white one or the other one? Hold on. No, if it's Haley, it's the white one, right? No, it's the Asian. It's Haley Kiyoko, not Kaylee Kuoko. Kaylee Kuoko's fine. Apparently so far. Ava Longoria, Allison Brie, Paul Wesley, Jennifer Garner, Jessica Chastain,
really?
Claire Holt.
Well,
Yeah,
okay. Well, because I know that Ben Affleck and his daughter are in support of Palestine, but I forgot that Jennifer Garner and Affleck are not together, so never mind.
yeah. Busy Phillips, James Maslow, Ashley Benson, Katy Perry. I don't know what she did. Viola Davis. Also don't know what she did. Kerry Washington. I don't. Carly Kloss, Isla Fisher, Janelle Parrish from Abbott Elementary. Bobby. Who's
Who
Bobby?
from Abbott Elementary?
Janelle Parrish.
Who?
Ava. Ava.
Oh, really? I thought that it
Yeah.
was Lisa Ann Walters, unless it's
Could
both of
be
them.
could be them too. Jenna Dewan, Dakota Fanning, okay. Ariana DeBose, I don't know what she did. Ellen Pompeo, Madonna, Kelly Osbourne, Mariska Hargitay from Law and Order. Uh Khloe Kardashian, Victoria Justice. I don't know what Victoria Justice did. Baby Ariel. Baby Ariel is a Zionist, so I know what she did. She made a whole TikTok video being, or maybe it was Israel. I don't know. She made a video being the propaganda. Courtney Kardashian, Lucy Hale, Kendall Jenner, Sabrina Carpenter, because although she has voice and support for Palestine, she has been working with Zionist brands.
What's her name?
Um, Sabrina Carpenter has voiced her support for Palestine, but she has been working with Zionist brands.
Now, has she diverted from them, or she just still is working with them? Or
These are new one time campaigns. So she worked with Skims, and she worked most recently. She worked with Marc Jacobs, um, Paris Burlek.
because, ooh, I never thought I'd say this, friend, but it is what it is. So Lupita Nyong'o, that she is with a company called De Beers, which is a diamond company, but I was informed that they're very connected to Israel, exploiting diamonds from the Congo. But Lupita has not only spoken about Palestine when it first started, But she also withdrew from the Woman King film because, they were whitewashing, a tribe of people that had sold their own people into slavery. So it's like really confusing what side she's on.
Honestly, it's questioning how much autonomy celebrities have over the brands that they work with, and how much
Mm-hmm.
is left up to their management. Um, and then to finish off the list, we have Quentin Tarantino and Lisa Barlow.
Quentin
So,
Tarantino isn't too surprising. He's always been a weirdo.
yeah, I don't know. I hate that list has no explanations. It's just a list of names. I wish we could know what they did, whether or not, because a few of those people were on the list for not saying anything, which I feel like that should be a separate list, or at least be explained, versus people who are on there for actually supporting Zionism and like posting propaganda. Those are two different things. So yeah, I hate that
What
list.
are two
But
different things, friend?
uh, I feel like the list should be separated, like like celebrities who have said nothing versus celebrities who have actually posted propaganda and is in support of Israel.
Oh, another one is George Lopez, but that's not surprising because he's racist. I remember you were so surprised when I told you that.
I was so sad. A terrible day. Terrible.
I don't know who the rest of these people are off of this other list that I'm reading, so who else do we have here? Honestly, I mostly just see most of the people that you listed, so I guess moving on from that, we can go for the people that have shown solidarity with Palestine. I think some of the most notable people that come to head mind is Kalani. She's been absolutely outspoken about it.
Mm-hmm.
Kid Cudi also has. I'm not sure if you know who this is, friend, but he's a UK rapper named Dave. I know his name is literally just Dave.
Now, how am I supposed to know who that is, friend?
Weapon.
How am I supposed to know who that is?
I know you're probably like Dave. Who? His name is just Dave. No, but jokes aside, that I know that he donated a lot to Palestine, Congo, and Sudan. And it's like I was saying before with Lizzo, it just makes no sense to me that she's promoting these GoFundMe's when she could literally just clear out that entire thing on her own. Like she just made a really useless video.
No, apparently Zendaya has posted in support of Palestine.
Oh, she has?
So I don't know what they're talking about
I don't know, friend.
because she's posted several articles in places to donate onto her Instagram story. So she has made her allegiance known. So
Pedro Pascal, also known as the Mandalorian, has no. I was just gonna say that he has two. Um, Let me actually just type it in and make it easier on myself. I would also like to note. So I'm sure you know the name Sean King.
hmm
So
that white black guy.
yeah, that white man that pretended to be a black guy for a long time to invade the Black Lives Matter movement and discredit a lot of those black women activists. Well, he
Mhm.
did the same exact thing with the Palestinian movement, and
He
that
pretended to be Palestinian.
he didn't pretend to be Palestinian, but he indoctrinated himself that excuse me, not indoctrinated himself. He initiated himself into the Islamic beliefs, so just so he can, be in Palestinian spaces, and that he was exploited recently, like for starting fundraisers for Palestine and stealing money for them. I can't say I'm surprised because he literally did the same thing from Black Lives Matter.
What is wrong with people? Honestly,
Right.
friend, speaking of these threads of celebrities that you should block, a lot of these threads are have incorrect information,
Hmm.
and then people spread around that incorrect information. Because I'm on this one thread about celebrities that you should block, and people are commenting showing that some of the celebrities on the list have actually posted support of Palestine, and this person who made this thread is going under their comments saying lies, and it's like the proof is right there.
Right.
What's the lot? Like, it's just weird people who like to clout chase in these situations. Like, where is the lie? You literally have proof right in your face. I don't know, and I hate the fact that situations like these really bring out the weirdos. Like Sean King, like why would you do that? What's your problem?
He's just always been a weirdo, honestly. For I'm just not surprised in the absolute slightest. And it was really irking to me when some people were saying that hashtag bring back Sean King because they were pitying him just because he was reposting people from Palestine. But the thing was, friend, like I said, he was stealing a lot of people's like footage from the actual journalists that were on the ground and was not like properly crediting them.
He needs to go to prison.
Right.
That's fraud. You're stealing people's money. Is that not fraud?
Right. Not to mention, also, he could be charged with. Yeah, he would be charged with fraud and. I forgot what's the terminology for it. It'll probably come back to me in a few minutes. And it's like, to build off of that, we don't need Sean King. Like I literally just said, there's actual people on the ground. Go follow them.
Why would we support someone that was a weirdo in another movement and now support
Right.
him when he's in this new movement? That doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Like, what makes you think he's turned over a new leaf? No, once a scammer, always a scammer.
He's
It's
a
been,
really
it's been,
trifling man. Like, he
it's
pretended
been
to be
4 years.
another race and like he pretended to be another race and now he completely switched religions just to invade like someone else's space to make profit off of it.
Oh my god. He has there's something wrong with him, like in the head, because there's no way switching religions, pretending to switch religions,
Yeah,
and pretending to be a whole other race.
he's he's really something else.
Oh my god. Something is deeply wrong with these people, and they need to
As
go
much of a
to
weirdo as
jail.
the as much of a weirdo as the Weeknd is, I know that he had also donated a lot to the cause.
Yeah. I don't know. And people are also ignoring certain celebrities' wrongdoings because they're supporting Palestine. And it's like, yes, you can do this good thing, but also you're not a great person.
Now I know what you mean. It's like one doesn't cancel out the other.
Yeah, like you can support to Palestine, but you're still a pedophile. So
Right.
like that's not changing, babe. People are also using this as good press. So definitely wouldn't put that past certain celebrities like Lizzo, like we talked about at the beginning. It all comes full circle. But honestly, even if a celebrity is using it as good press, the word should still be spread, regardless of who it's
Mm-hmm.
coming from.
Yeah,
So
I know what you mean, friend. Sorry, friend. I was just reading something. There's literally a page on Instagram called Celebrities for Palestine, etc. I was just reading off of it.
do you have any other topics, friend?
No, I had a little bit more to say about this. In particular, on this page, it's a lot more specific of what these celebrities did to help out this humanitarian crisis. So then, like I said, we could prove Lizzo's point completely wrong.
Okay. because I'm getting a little sleepy for him.
Oh, it's okay, friend. We're almost done.
I'm starting to get delirious. When I get sleepy, I just start yapping
Okay,
away.
for example, you have Bridgerton star India Amartefio. I really hope I'm not butchering her name, but she had posted a fundraiser for Sudan and Palestine. And, like I said before, when you see it from a celebrity, you're not only going to feel more encouraged to do the right thing, but who knows if they would have even ever seen it at all if it wasn't for scrolling across their favorite celebrity's page, because that's most likely the first thing to pop up in their feed, because that's how much they actually engage with that particular person.
Hmm.
I know Angelina Jolie like had provided a lot of resources um for what was it for again? Yeah, that she had provided like a lot of statistics like, to keep up with things and whatnot. Oh, friend, I'm sure you've also heard about the stuff that's been happening on the college campuses as well, especially in New York City.
Who said the end, friend?
I'm sure you've also heard about that's really loud. No, I was just gonna say that I'm sure you've also heard about the protests that have been happening in New York City on the college campuses.
Hmm. Oh, also the reason why they aren't having those protests down here in Atlanta is because, and a few of my friends have said this that are going to different schools, but
Mm-hmm.
pretty much each school has said that if you even think about protesting, if you start to protest, you will be expelled. So
Yeah, I heard some of those laws are a bit stricter down there.
don't pass go, don't collect $200. You're getting expelled and you're not getting that degree. So,
Just
yeah,
sad.
you know. And doesn't that like impeach on our rights?
They always pick and choose with the rights.
Yeah, literally, I forgot which state it was, but in one state, they outlawed large protest, which, like, that has to be an infringement upon our rights. Also, the fact that with certain protests, they were literally ripping the masks off of certain people, and it's like that's weird.
They
And
were
you're like,
also
oh,
ripping off the um apologies to our Muslim audience if I'm mispronouncing this terminology, but the traditional headscarf that they wear on their heads, I'm pretty sure it's called the hijabe. That I know that the NYPD was ripping them off, and that's a literal hate crime.
that definitely is. Why are you ripping things off of people's faces and
Yeah,
their
I don't
heads?
know
First
what
of
it
all,
was that they thought that they were going to find.
we are still, it's still COVID around here,
Right.
and I'm in a large protest. Hello. Certain people need to be fired and jailed.
Mm, friend, I think it's really interesting that you have brought up that you could be in support of this humanitarian crises around the world, but still be a really problematic person. I think one really prime example is Liam Neeson, because I'm sure you know what he said a few years back now.
Refresh me.
So Liam Neeson had said that after his I don't remember who he said it was, but there was this one woman in his life. I don't know if his friend, daughter, or something along those lines, was sexually assaulted by a black man, and that he said that he admitted that he almost attempted to kill an innocent black man out of his spite.
Why would you say that?
Yeah.
Why would you do that? A. But why would you admit that? Like, that's really weird. Honestly, the amount of celebrities who don't know how to shut up is so weird to me. Because you just expose yourself.
Hmm. We also know that what was it that no, we had. I think we had mentioned earlier on that there was that one woman. I don't remember her name from the most recent Scream movies. That she was fired for speaking for up for Palestine.
Melissa Barrera?
Yes, that's her name. That's still really sad, honestly. I heard she hasn't really been able to land too much after that.
That's not true. She just had a movie come out.
Oh, my bad. I stand corrected.
Annabeth. No, it's not Annabelle. It's Annabelle. No. What is it? Hold on. Let me look it up. Oh my god. Hold on. Oh my god. The movie is called Abigail, and it just came out April 19th. Jesus. But yeah,
Also,
people have been talking
oh
about it. So
no,
she's still killing it.
I was just going to say that in regard to going back to Lizzo. So, a lot of us have been boycotting like McDonald's and Starbucks just for some rough example amongst a million companies that are Zionist. So Starbucks, for example, they have really plummeted in revenue to the point that it was earlier last month that the CEO of Starbucks had actually put out a statement. So that really goes to show just how much that it's working. And for Lizzo to say that, that celebrities have no influence, like, or power or control over these situations over the world. Are celebrities not the ones that indulge in capitalism the most? So you're probably like consuming so much from these Zionistic companies that either you don't realize it or don't want to acknowledge it because it benefits
Mhm.
you, like you said, Lizzo.
Mhm. Also, having a celebrity to add to the block list, or
Who?
not the block list, but a celebrity who was a giantess. Dior from Percy Jackson.
I'm
She
not sure who that is.
plays. Oh my god, it's 11 o'clock at night, and names have escaped me. Pretty sure her character is named Clarice on Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Um,
we can st-
Clarissa. I don't
we can
know.
stop here, by the way, friend. My brain is starting to shut down a little bit too. Like I said, we can carry this on into another episode. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more to talk about with these countries as time goes on. Unfortunately,
Oh, for sure. Jesus. Okay, so
yeah.
down
For the
below,
for those wondering of why me and TJ like are having a bunch of brain fart moments, and we're literally recording this at 11 o'clock tonight. So yeah, we're really
like,
trying to push through.
honestly, with every passing, we've been recording for an hour and 36 minutes, and with every passing minute, my eyes have gotten closer and closer together. So, yeah, but I really hope that this episode has been informative for you all. And yeah, down below we will link some important peoples and some important links that you can go and support certain things. And yeah, I hope you all have an amazing
Mm,
day.
and
Depending on when I edit this, this will be up on one of these
right,
Mondays.
and
Um,
and the message overall, we said it once, we'll say it again. Free the Democratic Republic of Congo, free Palestine, free Sudan, free Haiti, and etc. And remember, folks, art reflects reality.
that part. Mm-hmm. Um, be good people, right? and stick to your morals and values, because that's what truly matters in times like these. Don't
I
let
couldn't agree
people
more, friend.
influence you
I couldn't agree
one
more,
way or
friend.
the other.
Because it honestly frustrates me when people say that the world is so broken. But quite honestly, were human beings truly that decent to ever begin with? So you can't fix something that's not
Honestly,
broken. I truly believe personally that it's harder to do good in this world or and take accountability to wrongdoing, you know?
yeah. Also, the fact people saying, "Oh, it's so hard now." As a Gen Zer, we have been in a war since we were born. So I don't like. We should be used to this by now. Sadly, this is the you know. So yeah. Honestly, we gotta shut it off because we're gonna keep talking. So
Right.
thank you for tuning in. I hope you have a great day. Stay true to yourself. And this is Being Effing For Real signing off. Don't forget to check out our socials. Follow us on Instagram at Being Effing For Real Pod. Follow us on Twitter at Being Effing For Real with the number 4. Follow us on TikTok at BFFR Pod 3. And follow us on Letterboxd at Being Effing For Real Pod.